Hello and welcome back to the Summer Studios YouTube channel. In today's video, we've got an extra special one. We're going to be taking a look at Maya 2027, as you might be able to see from the title of our scene up here. New release, new year. I don't know why it's always the following year that they release it like this, but it's not just Autodesk. A bunch of different companies do this. And there's a few really cool features that we're going to take a look at. I will preface this, a lot of them are AI related. Whether or not you like that or don't like that, it kind of just seems to be the way things are going. I'm not personally a huge fan of using AI in my work, but we will cover some of the features that they've introduced just to go over some of those. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first one I'm going to show you is something called Smart Bevel. This tool works a lot like the regular bevel, but it's especially useful for when you want to bevel edges on Boolean objects. If I was to go ahead and Boolean these two together with a union, you can see we've got this horrendous topology, okay? Which is kind of typical of what you'd expect with a Boolean. And if you were to go ahead and try and bevel these edges, it ends up not really working very well. You can't increase the size that much. Everything goes all over the place. If I was to try and increase this fraction up to something like 2, it just kind of looks ugly. Like, look at this going on here, but this is just collapsing. It's not working at all. On the other hand, if we use this new Smart Bevel, it kind of does it no problem. We can go ahead and increase the segments up to, something like 6. Increase the width to something enormous, and it just does it no issue. That might be a little bit too much. We can scale that back down maybe to something like 1. You do still get these extra edges here. That's just a result of the topology not being too clean, but you can go ahead and adjust this to weld opposing arcs, and that kind of eliminates some of that additional edge loops in there. The main difference with this new Smart Bevel tool is that it actually follows the curvature of the shape rather than the underlying topology like the original bevel tool, and that's why this works a lot better. But even with this, it's still a good idea to actually maintain clean topology, especially for VFX in game, but for concepting and just creating high poly assets that you might bake down to a low poly, this is a huge improvement. And honestly, this should have probably been included in Maya years ago, and I'm not really sure why they haven't. You can see if I go and smooth preview this, obviously it's still not working very well. You'd have to go and clean up the topology afterwards. But just a quick preview stuff, that doesn't look Boolean at all to me. So this is a huge improvement on the regular bevel tool, and especially for quickly concepting stuff. So the next one we're going to take a look at is the Motion Maker, specifically for horse animation. And if you're not familiar with Motion Maker, this was introduced, I think, in Maya 2025 or 2026, and it's essentially an AI animation tool built within Maya. It helps you quickly generate and edit character motion instead of building animations from scratch, and you can apply pre-trained motions like walking, running, or interacting with the environment, for example. Essentially, it's just designed to speed up the animation process for common actions like walking, etc. But in Maya 2027, they've added the feature to allow you to add horse animation, equine animations. So if we go ahead and open up the Motion Maker editor, if you've not seen this before, we can go to create, and there's of course biped and canine, which are already there, but we've now got equine for horses. Okay, if I click that, it's going to create just a simple kind of stand-in, this kind of crazy looking robotic horse, which I think you could then go ahead and apply this onto a rigged horse as well. Or if you already had a rigged horse model, that would work too. But if you're not familiar with how this works, essentially you just select this controller here, this path locator. If this is where you want the animation to start from, you just keyframe it. Then let's say we want this to be, I don't know, 100 frames long. And we go ahead and move this over here. Maybe over here at like a slight angle or something like that. Okay, and then we keyframe that. If we go ahead and run the animation, nothing happens. That's because we need to hit this little button here, which will generate the keyframes for you. As a non-animator myself, this is quite cool, but I don't know how much control you get over this. And now if I press play, you can see our horse starts running in the direction of the keyframe. And the cool thing about it is that, it does seem to act somewhat realistically. It kind of slows down and speeds up realistically. The head animation seems to be there as well, even with the ears. It's got some character to it as well when it stops. It looks a little bit funky, and it kind of is idling as well, which is interesting. Obviously, you're going to get a lot more control over animating this yourself in a professional animator. This might just be good for blocking things in or background characters. So it is AI, take it or leave it. You can make up your own minds about that, but regardless, somewhat cool as well. The next tool I want to take a look at is the Autodesk AI Assistant. So you can open up that from this button here, but currently it doesn't really seem to be working, unfortunately, at least in my version of Maya. This only came out a few days ago, and it's not working for me. Maybe it is for you. I don't know. Give it a go. This is the official Autodesk page, and you can kind of get a sense of what you're going to get here. Essentially, it's kind of like if you've used ChatGPT or any other kind of AI chat bot or chat assistant, it's very similar to that, except it's Autodesk's own. I don't know what, large language model it's running on, whether it's their own proprietary one or if they're using an already existing one. But yeah, it's essentially an AI tool built into Maya. You can ask it questions related to Maya, any tools or issues you might have, and it's going to hopefully give you an answer. Again, like I said, it doesn't really seem to be working at the moment, at least for me, so I haven't had a chance to test this. But yeah, that is now within Maya. I'm not sure how that compares to just, say, using something like ChatGPT or Gemini, for example. I'm assuming it would give you more accurate answers since it is developed by Autodesk and plugged directly into Maya, so it has more access to its own software. But with this kind of thing, I think you always need to take it with a pinch of salt, and you might have a better time finding information on official forums from other people. But yeah, that's in there now too. And the last feature I want to take a look at today is Autodesk Flow Studio. If you press this little button here, it's going to actually take you to a web page. It's not going to open up anything in Maya. And you have to sign into this with your Autodesk ID. And you're going to get a page that looks a little bit like this. And essentially what this is it's just a set of tools and a platform on the web that allows you to run tools like simulations and animations directly in your browser instead of on your system, which could potentially save your machine resources and frees you up to work on other things. Autodesk had previously introduced Flow Auto Retopology in Maya 2026, and I did a preview of how that works, and that works relatively well as well. It's just a cloud-based thing. You upload your models and it retopos it and spits it back out. It definitely can have its uses if you're, if you have a tight turnaround or you're just concepting things and need to quickly spit out clean retopoed models for whatever reason. The interesting thing about this again is it's just more AI tools. So if you don't like that, feel free just to switch off. To be frank, I'm not a massive fan of them either, like I said at the beginning, but it is here and it's probably here to stay for the time being. You can do a few different things like text to image generation, like a lot of other platforms already offer. Image to 3D model generation as well, which I have seen a little bit of. You can see here in the preview as well, you can essentially input video as well, and it will turn that into 3D animation for you, as you can see in this preview. You can also do text to 3D as well. You can generate a 3D mesh from a text prompt. I've never actually tried this, and I thought just to see how well this works, let's just try it live in the video. So if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. So live demo. Let's give it kind of a bit of a challenge. Let's go for a classic sports car with red paint, but in a Mad Max aesthetic. We'll see what that does. I think this has various different paid tiers. By default, the free one, you only get 300 credits. This is going to cost us 20 credits and apparently take 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and see what that does for us. I haven't given it much to run off, so this might be horrendous. I have seen a little bit about 3D model generation in the past. Again, I'm not really a big fan of this. I really want to preface this. I don't like this. For quick concepting, sure, but I don't advocate for doing this really in general. I think it's much better to create your own stuff, and it's more fun that way as well. Why would you just, you're not really achieving anything by doing this, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, I'm going to pause the recording until this is done, and then we'll get back and have a look at the results. Okay, so it's just finished generating our model, and I'm not overly impressed. I'm sure someone with a bit more prompting knowledge could get more out of this, but I mean, it has created a classic sports car. It's the only Mad Max-ish nature of this is that this one's missing the 3 of its 4 wheels. What I'm getting from this is that this is good to maybe generate. I mean, these look like 3D scans to me. If you've ever done photogrammetry, this is kind of what they end up looking like. The glass just gets completely destroyed. Transparency really doesn't work well with photogrammetry or LiDAR, things like that. So yeah, I mean, I guess this could have its uses for just some quick blocking stuff, some quick background stuff that you might retopo. As you can see, the vertex count and the face count is obscenely high. This one's at 2 million, which is a lot higher than I thought it would be. But yeah, could have its uses. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'm not, to be honest with you, I feel like this update for Maya, not the best they've ever had. Maya is kind of notorious, and Autodesk, for being very slow introducing new features. Like this smart bevel here, like I mentioned earlier, that could have been in a very long time ago. I don't know what you guys think about that. There are features, for example, that I think that Maya could introduce. One of them being actual caustics for the Arnold renderer. I think that lags behind. I think its GPU support is lagging behind a lot of our render engines. Maybe even introducing more non-destructive modeling tools and modifiers like you get in 3ds Max and Blender. Or improving Maya's sculpting tools, for example, or a plethora of other things that I feel like could make just huge improvements for Maya, or if it just stopped crashing. I do like Maya, and I think some of these changes are good, but I'm a little underwhelmed with this update. But the new... Oh, it seems to have broken. Oh no, there it is. But the new Smart Bevel feature, honestly, to me, that's the highlight of this update. Very, very small part of it. So yeah, that is Maya 2027 in a nutshell. There's a few more little things as well, like some adjustments to Bifrost, which is cool. Some Look Dev X stuff as well. A few tiny little updates to Arnold, including a new hair scattering node and some more flexible light sampling and other things like that. But overall, nothing crazy. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, please do let me know in the comments. Anything you'd like to see in Maya as well, please feel free to put that in the comments too. That'd be interesting to see what you guys think. And yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.